Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And the Bulls have gotten their campaign of the Rainbow Cup South Africa off to a winning start as they outlasted and outmuscled the Lions 24 points to 9. A score that might not necessarily reflect the game because it was very, very close up until about the last sort of 10 minutes. A yellow card to Eva van Leeuwen was probably the turning point which allowed the Bulls into the game. It had been 10-9 for quite a while before that try. And then right on the 80th minute, Albert Lowe going over for the Bulls. Jake White not looking very happy, and probably fairly so, because I think it was quite an underwhelming performance from the Bulls side, which, you know, everybody's been touted as being our best hope at winning the Pro 14 or going to the Champions Cup and competing. And whilst they were missing quite a few players, were definitely not at their best. But before we sort of break down the game, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We're trying to get up to 1,300 subscribers, so be a good person. Subscribe. Smash that like button if you're a Bulls fan. Subscribe if you're a Lions fan. Subscribe if you're any fan, really. But I mean, it was a dreadful, dreadful start for the Lions, who made a hash of the restart, and within 2 minutes, Chris Smith dove over because of poor defending. It was Andre Warner and Danny Duplessis missing tackles, and he went over very quickly. And as a Lions fan, you kind of sit there thinking, oh, here we go. But after that, the Lions actually started to play quite well. They got themselves into Bulls territory. Nice first penalty from Fred Zerlinger. Lions lost Tian Swanepoel to injury very, very early. Doesn't look particularly good. Looks like his ankle's gone. Which for a Lions side, which is already pretty depleted, is not good news at all. Although Ida van Leeuwen was not bad when he came on. But the Lions got themselves into the game, and I think something that the Lions were trying to target was sort of the scrums, and it took 22 minutes to get to the first scrum. They didn't really manage to have that sort of ascendancy. But I think if you looked at the Bulls' front row, it was quite a young and inexperienced front row, and that's where the Lions would have wanted to have gone after the Bulls. But the Lions did front up. I must admit, I was surprised as a Lions supporter at how much the Lions actually did manage to front up. And I know that there was no, Dwayne Vermeulen, no Marcel Coetzee yet. You still got Onabut on the bench. There's lots of players to come in. Trevor Nyakani, Lizo Gqoboka came off the bench. He'll usually start. There's a lot of players to come in for this Bulls side. But I was still, as the Lions fan, I was very impressed because it's a very inexperienced side. And they did front up pretty well. We'll look at the tackles, and just too many tackles missed, to be honest. The second half, the Lions started dominating for a while, and they couldn't find their way to get points. And it kind of shifted. First 20 minutes of the second half was all Lions. They were in Bulls territory. They were pressing. They were trying to find that magical moment. I wanted to see the Similani. He continues to be a very exciting player who always seems to be able to make something happen. But yeah, at the end of the day, it came down to the Bulls just hanging in there, seeing off the Lions, and then they just got in there and they just were relentless, absolutely relentless. They were on the Lions try line. They had 3 disallowed tries, including a brilliant, brilliant captain's challenge by Dan Creel, with the score at 17-9. And the game's kind of in the balance. The Bulls scored a try. Fantastic cross kick from Morné Steyn. He was very good when he came on. Tumadosh Tambo, I also thought was pretty impressive. It was a perfect sort of try. Cross kick, ran straight onto it. There wasn't overlap because of the yellow card to Ida van Leeuwen, which was the reason that they scored the try. But Dan Creel then went back and said, listen, I wasn't happy with that throw. And they actually went and looked at it and it was skewed. So a new concept being demonstrated and being very well used by Dan Creel. Definitely got it out of a try. It didn't matter in the end, but at the time was a perfect call. So the Lions were very good at repelling the Bulls more for quite a lot of it, and just seemed to kind of make something happen. Whenever the Bulls looked like they were going to score, the Lions managed to bring out a turnover or force a penalty or something, and they weathered a storm for a very long time. But they couldn't do it forever. And Ida van Leeuwen, in trying to sort of make a last-ditch tackle, trying to come up off his line because there was an overlap, stuck a hand out and got yellow carded for deliberate knockdown, and that was it. They went to the line, had a couple of phases, they went out wide, and there was an overlap, and Shavina Jacobs had the easiest of running. And I thought it was harsh that Madosh Tamwe didn't get a try, and Jacobs did, because I thought Shavina Jacobs is a very good player, but I thought it was pretty poor tonight. He must have dropped the ball about 5 or 6 times, couldn't really get into the game. So if you look at some of the stats, which sort of tell the story, and before Albert Lowe got it over in the last minute, just to clarify that, he was brilliant tonight. I thought very physical, loves the sort of collisions, and I think really, even with Marcel Coetzee coming back, with Van Staden leaving and even having Onabut, I think Albert Lowe is becoming a very difficult player to drop. But it was very even if you look at the stats. Possession-wise, 51%, 49%. Bulls had more possession in the second half at 53-47. Territory-wise, 54-46. Bulls having more territory. 2 tries, actually 3 tries for the Bulls there. It hasn't quite updated yet. And then meters run, Bulls 382 to Lions 323. Defenders beaten, Bulls 22 to 23 for the Lions, pretty even there. Clean breaks also 7 to 4, more clean breaks for the Bulls. Offloads 10 from the Bulls, 12 from the Lions. Turnovers 198. So it was all pretty even, to be honest. Rucks 170 to 75, but the set piece was very good for the Bulls. I think that was where I was very impressed with them. And I think that, you look at tackle success rate, the Lions tackled a lot better in the second half. That defense really did improve. They were sitting with a 67% tackle success rate in the first half. They got that back up to 78. They eventually made 78 out of 100 tackles, missing 22 tackles. The Bulls made 81 of 104 tackles, also 78% tackle success rate. They missed 23 tackles. So it was pretty even. But if you look at the set pieces, Lions losing a lot of lineouts. I mean, poor Mornay Brandon, the reserve Lions hooker, came on and he couldn't find a man. I think it was about 4 lineouts he lost. Whereas that Bulls lineout functioned beginning to end. They lost, I think, 2 towards the end. But Ruan Nokia and Janko Swanepoel, every time, Kobyla was finding them every time. Up they went, down it went, got the ball. So it was a very decent performance of the lineouts. And I think somebody who I think, for me, impressed me quite a lot for the Lions was Fred Zanninger. Chris Smith was hard for the Bulls, but I think in terms of one of the better fly half performances, I thought Fred Zanninger was actually very good for the Lions. Positionally, he was quite good. He kicked pretty well. A couple of times he found ball behind touch. And look, there was staff for possession, so it was a bit difficult for him to express himself. And, you can't fall into the trap of trying to compare him to Alton Yankees. He's a very attacking fly half, very sort of bit of a maverick. Lives around on the edge, plays the game on the edge, so it can go really well or really badly. Fred Zanninger is probably a little bit more conservative, more of a traditional sort of South African fly half, but I thought he was very good. But Mornay Steyn also came on and showed what that sort of experience can do. The way he managed that game when he came on was sublime. A couple of kicks in behind, knowing when to kick, knowing when not to kick. It was very, very impressive. I thought Carly Sardi came on for the Lions, was very, very good. Very strong at scrummaging time. I don't know why he's not starting. It's really frustrating. I can understand sort of the impact player. But, we can get 60 minutes out of Carly Sardi. So let's get 60 minutes out of him. But for the Lions, I was impressed. Because I think that whilst it's not maybe a fantastic bull side, there were some good players on the pitch. It was still a very good side. And the Lions, who've not got a particularly good side at the moment, I'm going to be very frank. It's a very young and inexperienced side. There's not a lot of stars in that team. I don't think... Yeah, there wasn't a test cap. I mean, Courtnall Kasana was the only capped player for the Lions in that side today. Yanni du Plessis, but I don't really count Yanni du Plessis. Talking about sort of stars here and now, current sort of players in the Springboks, Courtnall Kasana is the only player that's sort of been in and around that environment. So, no Willem Alberts, no Alton Yankees, no Burger Odendaal, missing quite a few players, still put up, for me, quite an impressive effort. And I think Ivan van Rooyen can be quite pleased with that. No bonus point conceded for the bonus point win. Jake White looked pretty disappointed by the Bulls, and probably rightfully so, because I think they were pretty underwhelming, especially in that first half. It didn't look like a Bulls side that were going to go on to decimate this competition. But weirdly enough, the Bulls have had quite a few games where they haven't played particularly well, but still managed to get the victories, which is a really good thing, but sometimes that does catch up to them. But I don't think they're losing too much sleep. When they're going to welcome back Dwayne Vermeulen, they're going to welcome also Kutsia, they're going to say hi to Johan Goosen. Eventually they're going to get Stefan Guns back. You could be getting Curtly Arendse back. You're going to get Trevor Nyakane back. There's so many players that are still going to come in for this Bulls side. And I don't think there's much reason to worry. But, not maybe their best performance, but a solid performance that got them a 24 points to 9 victory. For the Lions, it's on to the next game. It's going to be a very big learning experience for them as they try and mold a side that can be ready for Europe. This Bulls side is ready for Europe. They've been built for Europe, and they were planning on playing Munster in like a month's time. But that's not going to happen. So this is more sort of just putting in the final touching and trying to get a good sort of side together. But please do smash a like on the video as well. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought of the game down in the comments below. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll chat to you very soon.